Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
And welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to tell you is brought to you by Dispose. This is a great little company that's doing great things in the garbage world. And I wonder, what you mean with garbage? This not just the residential. How about all that stuff you see in the garage and you be like, man, this stuff been adding up for a long time, been gathering it around. What am I going to do with it?
Right.
You're going to call Jeremiah over here at Dispose, and what I'm going to do is bring a container to your home and allow you to clean all that up. During this pandemic, one of the things I want to tell you about keeping clean is one of the things you're going to need for health and wellness. So you can give me a call, I'll give you a special. I'll see if I can make that delivery for you. That's right, just for me, call me, and I can get that can to you, and you can get that clutter out your way.
Yes.
And I can take it where it need to be, and you don't have to worry about it no more. That's right, at Dispose LLC.
Right.
Now, I gotta get back to the person I've been rocking with for the last 4 years, Craftmatic. How you doing tonight, big baby?
Man, I'm doing awesome, bro. Doing good, man.
Still
doing good.
Smiling.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna stop smiling, bro.
I like that.
I got that from Richard Kraft.
Okay.
Right? He was always smiling, right?
Speak his name again.
Richard Kraft.
That's right.
Yeah.
That man right there
Absolutely.
is a legend.
He is a legend. He's
Woo.
absolutely a legend, man. So I'm doing good, bro. Working hard and
right.
staying low key
I like that.
and keeping it in the middle of the road.
Okay.
Right? How you doing, man?
Man, let me tell you, man, I ups and downs, I be tripping. And then I got a phone call today, Teresa Bradford down there in Columbus, Georgia. Somebody real close to me.
Yeah.
Mother passed away.
Sorry. So
So
sorry.
again, man, to the whole family, man, our condolences.
Yes.
But one of the things I want to speak on the family tonight, and they showed me something that's really don't have a place to be able to say this, but I want to say it, and because I got a platform. I watched when mom had an underlying condition, and they made the phone calls, and the family came together, the brothers and sisters, and they talked about what they wanted to do, and then they executed a plan. They went up to Chicago, brought her down here, and was taking care of her, and unfortunately, an underlying condition ended up causing her, her life. It wasn't COVID-19, but she ended up passing.
Right.
What I wanted to say to them is, I honor how they came together, and that's what I want to see more people do. Again, before they leave here, make sure they're loved. And they came up with a plan, and the family came with a plan.
Yeah.
Sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
And then they made it happen. So there's no words that can bring her back, but there's words I can give them, and I have hats off to how they handled it the best of their abilities and how they came together. It's something that I didn't see all the time, and I have seen some of it with my own family, but the love that they show her, the elderly, and that love need to be passed on. So one of the things I can tell you is I appreciate seeing that without them saying anything to me. They did that on their own.
Yes.
And I want to make sure we are loving up on the ones that loved up on us when we couldn't wipe our own and do for us.
Yes.
But they did, and we cannot forget about them. So let's continue to come together collectively and loving up on each other.
There you go, man. A great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Right here.
And we are here to simply liberate your minds and souls with a great dialogue. And tonight we're going to be talking about people. Can't Change People is the name of tonight's show. And, we just want you to look into the mirror of this conversation and find yourself. Learn something about yourself. Learn something about your friends or family or relatives or the people who you work with or have to live life with. Because we talk pretty in depth in these conversations.
Yes.
And we hope that there's a lot of value. We hope that it is in some way therapeutic to you, and that it would advance your spirit and advance your soul. So we are truly grateful for you being here with us tonight. For those of you who are live, those of you who are watching at a later date, just thank you for your participation. And of course, we always start the show off with a prayer. And I didn't know, Jay, if you want to do a prayer.
Yeah, man,
tonight.
definitely. My heart's kind of hurt.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Give it to him, man. Give them to him a little bit of
Yeah.
something to give them past this, but they can get back into him.
Yeah. And, I normally kind of rush the prayers, 20, 30 seconds. I'm going to just take my time with this one. Do you know what's the name of the family, Jay?
Well, Teresa Bradford is...
Bradford. I'm just going to say the Bradford family, okay? And we're just going to pray over the Bradford family. And this, for some of you, this might just be an education in prayer, because what I'm going to do is really just call out a state of consciousness, a state of affairs that I want to this family and ourselves to experience. And when I call out these words, God is the Word, and God was the Word, and God was with the Word, and the Word was with God. And so when I speak these words, these are spiritual words, rhema words, that we hope shower the family that is in loss right now. And so tonight's prayer, Barb titled this prayer, Serenity. So we're going to talk about serenity. The state of being calm, peacefulness, and untroubled.
Okay.
I think a perfect word for such a prayer tonight. Heavenly Father, we come into your presence just thanking you once again for all that you are in our lives and all that you do for us. We are filled with gratitude tonight just for being able to be here tonight and to do another show. And we ask, Father, that you would lend a special hand for the Bradford family tonight. And as well, this goes out to all of our participants throughout this show, that all of us, Father, are looking for a greater idea of serenity. And we ask, Father, that you would just bring a sense of calmness and peacefulness over this family and over our hearts. Create a sense of untroubledness in their spirits, Heavenly Father. Free them of worry and give them tranquility and peace of mind. Let them be poised, Father, to carry on in the affairs of the family in a loving and peaceful and happy and joyful way. Give them quietness in their spirit and stillness so that they can hear from you, Heavenly Father. We ask, Father, that you would remove any worry and anxiety, any disruption, any concerns and nervousness and tension and stress from them. May I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, and I pray that this show be a fantastic show. We ask that you would speak through us, Father, and liberate us with a kind and wise word. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Woo, crack.
Man.
What's up, God? You little deacon. Deacon! Deacon, crack! I felt that one.
Oh man, I felt that one too. And may those words continue to fill the family and their hearts and their minds. And
That's the only thing I can tell you, man. You made it sizzle in their spirit.
Yeah,
You
losing a
did that.
loved one is a very difficult thing to do because it's like having something all of your life and then one day it's gone.
Yes.
And it is a natural process of life, but it is not an easy one to deal with. That's a lot of what Minecraft is really about. It's about helping people to overcome their mental and emotional hurdles. And losing a loved one is a major mental and emotional hurdle. And, anytime you're troubled by anything, you have to go to the spirit. Right? The outer world won't get anything fixed. It takes the inner spirit. It takes consciousness. It takes spoken word. It takes faith. It takes belief. It takes positive attitude. It takes all those inner things in order to bring about the manifestations which we need in life. And the greatest manifestations which we need in life are all inner. Right? We need peace, and we need drive, and we need love, and we need understanding and gratitude and appreciation and joy and happiness and goodness and freedom. We need spiritual things, but oftentimes we chase the outer world. And believe me, your answers are not there. Your answers are within. And so let's go ahead and move on with the show and talk about last week's topic. It was a very interesting topic.
Yeah, what?
We needed prayer for that topic, but I love the way we delivered it, Jay.
All I can say is we did.
I absolutely love the way we delivered it. I'm always a little critical about shows right after the show because I don't remember half of what we said. But I got a lot of positive feedback, and we took a subject that was a little edgy,
Yeah.
and we brought it home. We really brought it home in a very professional way. Last week's topic was, which sexual partner do you prefer? Experienced, low body count or virgin, or rookie, veteran, or Hall of Famer?
Veteran kind of won that throughout the show.
Veteran kept winning. Veteran. Well, really, everybody wanted a Hall of Famer.
No. They won the Hall of Famer, but the Hall of Famer gonna go up on the wall. You didn't want to stay with
the
it.
Hall of Famer was not the keeper.
No.
Nobody wanted to keep the Hall of Famer. Everybody wanted to keep the veteran.
They want the veteran, and then you push for the inexperience.
Yeah, I want the rookie veteran.
You did.
Yeah.
But there ain't no rookie veteran. It is rookie.
No.
And that's what we was kind of going over.
No. No, a rookie veteran. Here's a rookie veteran, and we talked about it a little bit, right?
And once they get veteran
let's say
style,
you,
they
let's
ain't
say
no Ricky to them.
you got this new lady. She's your fiance, your girlfriend. You know her, you love her, you trust her, everything about her, right?
Right.
But she's only had 2 partners, maybe 3 partners.
Okay.
Right? But she's had relationships. So
Okay.
she's learned some years of things and some multi-partner kind of type things
Right.
while she was in her relationship. So she's not necessarily a rookie. She's a rookie veteran, right?
Now you say Ricky veteran, but just remember, if she was in 1 or 2 long-term relationships, she could have went to veteran away from rookie because they could have been teaching her.
Yeah.
Depending on that relationship,
Yeah.
she could be more of a veteran than the ones that had multiple. Multiple don't always give you that experience and knowledge of that person that's going to show you and open you all the way up and open that Pandora's box for your butt.
All right.
That depends on the person that you actually choose. And when you choose softly,
All right.
when I like to say soft and safe, you might not get that bad boy experience.
Yeah.
And again, that's why some people run after them.
Yeah.
That's why I said rookie, veteran. I can just say they veterans. They just got low cow.
They got low count.
Low count veterans.
Low
Low cal. No, you got low calorie. Decaffeinated.
Low count.
Yeah. This is a different way of looking
Low
at it.
count veteran.
Yeah,
right?
low cal.
Low count veteran.
Low cal. Because,
I like that.
the other ones.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
they high in cholesterol.
Yeah, almost nobody, picked the virgin or the inexperienced. Nobody really picked the rookie. But I was fighting,
Yes,
and
you
it
was.
seemed like I was fighting all by myself.
She was. We
But-
stopped that.
But doesn't this make sense? Listen, this is the guys. I just want you to listen to this, guys. Right? If you were to take on a Mrs. Wright,
Uh-huh.
would you not want her to be a little less experienced?
Mhm.
Would you not want her to be? Would you not want her to have maybe less partners or maybe know a little less about the game? Wouldn't you want to be able to grow together, right? Because if she knows a lot and she's been a few places and you might not necessarily want that. You want somebody a little more pure, a little more innocent, right?
Okay.
And it's nothing wrong with I mentioned that I got a lot of heat for this. I don't know where the hell the heat
Yeah, I
came
mean,
from. but
he came from.
Listen, there can be rookies who might be able to serve you up pretty damn good,
Now, Crab.
might be able to make your boat float. You
Crab,
just don't know what kind of
Crab,
videos
you-
they've been watching.
I would say when we stop being so judgmental
Right.
and stop being worried about a body count and understand a person. Because I would rather a person just be good with themselves. If they had a high body count but they good with themselves, then they won't let that body count interfere with me. Because at that point it becomes about her telling me how she wants to be. Because she don't live life long enough that now it ain't about them, it's about her. Because you got to go to the internal to get to the external. When you love you, it ain't no more about who I was with, where I've been, it's about where I'm going.
Yeah.
Can you aid me in my journeys or are you a hindrance? Do you just want to dwell over my past or you want to aid me in my future? And I really feel like we need to get more on
listen.
that path.
Yeah, we really do need to get more on that path. But what I heard last week was that she could be a very fine woman.
Mhm.
I'm talking about inner. She could be a woman, a lady, get things handled and make life happen and support and do all the things that you need to do. But she just ain't giving you that fire in the bedroom. And y'all suggested that y'all was gonna throw her away. No, don't start no bullshit there.
Crab.
We heard you.
Yeah, I know you heard me, Crab.
See, a good
Listen.
woman, you telling me that a good woman who don't give you good sex is a bad pick?
Crab.
Come on now.
I'm only saying.
I'm fighting for righteousness.
And righteousness need to shine. Okay?
Okay.
And she need to shine.
Yes,
And it shouldn't just be based off of that.
it shouldn't be.
Okay?
But why?
But I'm only telling you about what's more worldly. When you more worldly and get away from all that other stuff, you will realize you would push yourself to do more things to know about her and gravitate her, and y'all two can elevate.
Right.
But if your mind ain't there and your mind somewhere else, then don't hinder her. I would rather not be with her because she might need something else. Okay? And that's what we need to make these decisions on.
Right.
Because again, don't rush a person and put them in a position where they will mess up good people.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you start just throwing sex in it. Okay? Because now you got emotions and feelings and you ain't got the same. So now you're ruining the person that already know it's more than just that.
Yes.
You want me to be all this, and I don't see nothing in you. That's why a lot of time people gotta pull away. Everything ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
And I like that you saying she might be a rookie or she might, but she also know no matter what you call yourself being able to do to me, you ain't for me.
Right.
And that's why she need to just keep it moving and don't be worried about how he can break her back when she could have fixed his back and got him elevated. And that's why we got so many broken people today, because they always talk about what they can do and they ain't showing me shit. Show it by doing it. Get with the person that can elevate you, but you want something eye candy, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. So keep looking cute.
Preaching on them, Jay.
Put it on them, you know.
Preaching on them, Jay.
They look fine in the mug and unhappy as hell.
Yeah.
All I can do is tell you did it to yourself.
There you go.
Because you was stuck on yourself. That's all that is. Back to ego.
Yeah, back to ego. And, Jay, there's a lot of people stuck on sex.
What?
There's a lot of people who are, who cannot refrain.
I was there too.
There's a lot of people who have no self-discipline.
I didn't have none for a long time.
There are a lot of people who are going to go and have sex regardless of what else is going on in their life. And that could be have met Mr. Right or Mrs. Right and maybe potentially pursuing a nice, healthy relationship where you can bring two families together, but you want to still go out and smash the old flame. You want to go out and smash the old dude. And, that's why a lot of these relationships, you think about it, Jay, there's just a lot of relationships that just don't make it.
Right, they don't.
There's a lot of relationships that just don't make it. So what that insinuates is that there's a lot of people having sex with people and then turn the other way.
Correct.
Break up, don't see them no more.
Right.
And it's happening over and over and over. And after a while you say, well, if I ain't gonna get no love, I might as well go get some sex. Right?
Well, we both know it.
And that's how body counts get to moving up. Is because I'm hooked on sex. And I just happen to believe that if you pay the price, if you pay it up front, if you reframe a little bit, if you reserve yourself, that something good comes to that. You know what I mean? Like, you really don't have to be in the street. You don't have to be out, get you one partner or two partners, you know what I'm saying? Don't be all over the city doing all that stuff. Because there's a lot of dangers out there, folks.
You're right. But just remember one thing when it comes to that. Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people. Now, if y'all ain't understanding,
that's nice.
When you go through a breakup and you're going through a painful thing with somebody and you try to recover with somebody else because you're using them as a shield, and we do this a lot. And when you grab that other person, just understand you ain't healed from the first person. So now you're taking that to the second person.
But the second person, they ain't really expecting nothing.
No, they ain't expecting. They might not even know they're a rebound.
Yeah.
So now they're going to feel like a rebound when they find out, because this is probably after the smash thinking you a great person. They ain't know they was dealing with a hurt person. So now they feeling like they can change you. And they can fix you because they see your hurt, but they don't understand how deep your pain.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Jay.
What's that, man?
We got to go ahead and introduce the subject and take a break. We got just like 1 or 2 minutes here. But do you have any, at all, I mean, this is sincere now, this ain't a funny question, okay? Do you have any guilt at all surrounding sex?
Oh, hell yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I didn't expect that answer.
Why not?
You said yes.
Yes,
Wow.
because everybody didn't deserve what I gave them.
That's your guilt then?
No, the guilt is there's a lot of times, and it was a little joking, but being honest, some of the things that I'm able to do, I learned through behavior, my own. And sometimes I rush to do things when I should have stood back, and I continue to monitor myself because I get back in there. It's a habit. And a lot of times you want to help somebody, but you got to watch how you helping somebody. And you out there,
you can't be serving them up talking about you helping. This ain't
that ain't no kind of help. It is good, and I'm eating good. So you really want to watch some of the things that you do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're not really helping. You just self-indulge.
I want to spend maybe a little more time on that.
Hey man, we can go all
in the show.
into it. Go ahead and give me time.
I'm going to go ahead and give you all the topic, and we're going to take our first break. We hope you are enjoying the show. It is most certainly our pleasure to be here, and our personal passion and vision. So we thank you again. Tonight's topic is can't change people.
Right.
You can't change people. And I have no idea where this is going to go. I got
some ideas.
Yeah, I got some ideas too. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. Right after this. Bar Talk with Jay.
Get that soft music in the background. There we go.
Okay. So, what a segment, man. That was a great segment.
Man, it was
first segment. I enjoyed that.
I think we did good on that one. We talked about all kinds of things, especially the Hall of Fame. We ain't give it a lot of plug like we did on the show, but you can go back and check that out.
Yeah. So, let's go ahead and jump right into tonight's topic. Tonight, we're going to talk about can't change people. Can't change people. And everybody listening to the sound of my voice is like, you sure right about that?
Wonder why, Crab? Wonder why?
You cannot change people, or can you? Where would you start tonight, Jay? Where would you open the door?
I'm just going to say, since I've dated a few people, I've noticed some people that I dated, and he's like, yeah, he ain't, and this is through conversation, he ain't got it all, but I can work on him and I can get him right. So, all I can tell anybody is you're going to work on somebody, please make sure you have a good dialogue and they have an understanding and they have an acceptance of what you're trying to do. Because if you feel like you can just start dating somebody and changing somebody, the only person that's probably going to be mad and irritated is you. Give that person the opportunity to realize and accept you, and then all of a sudden you can see some of the things that you might want to do. Because again, if you're about elevation and elevating somebody up, then that kind of change a person might want to accept.
Yes.
If I feel like you're trying to change me for your personal benefits, for your needs, because you see that I can take care of you and yours, and you ain't elevating me, I'm only helping you, you're a self-centered ass person, and realize that will not change anyone. It will cause a demise. Why in the world would I want to continue doing that when I can get elevated over here?
Yes.
And that's what happens when wording, talking to somebody and losing the thought of what you're trying to do. If it ain't positive and it's just about you, it will get back out.
See, I want to dig a little deeper into that, Jay, because just based on your own experience, what kind of changes are these women trying to make in you? What do they want you to become or be?
He spent too much money on his friends and his kids, all that. He be bringing that over here, and he don't need to be. They grown almost, and he still take care of them. And then his mama call. He makes sure she all good. Shoot, I can be getting that. I can be getting my hair done and everything else. It's taken away from what a man is giving. He's making sure everybody's covered to self-centeredness, where everything got to come back to me. Now, to me, you can see that person as a caring person. And if I help elevate him, he will do the same for me. You see what I'm saying? But when you just looking at it for self, it gets away from what he's doing. He ain't doing that for you. He did that for his kids, his mom, and then he helped somebody over here. He's a helping person, right?
Right.
Oh, he don't need to be doing all that. See, once I get him to stop all that, he'll just be doing all that for me. See, that's the kind of change you're going to have a bad result at the end compared to a positive result. Positive result is he's doing all these things, and maybe he need to focus because he's doing too much, and then we can help more. You know what I'm saying? And that is a person that's trying to elevate you. That's when you look at things and you be like, well, yeah, I am doing this and I'm doing, but if you slow down and we do this, it'll bring more money, and then we can do more of what you try to do. Now that person, I wouldn't be offended. I'll be like, oh, okay. Because I'm willing to listen, because at that point I have to accept the information that I'm being given. I did the rest of this from my heart. That was not given by her. It was something that I got through the Lord. Now you're gonna give me some things that I can think about. I can digest. Okay, but you don't need to be doing that, because the ring you got me ain't even that big of a ring, and it need to be upside. But you over there helping everybody else. See, that's self-centered. Mm-hmm. Now to me, you gotta offset this with something. because I'm gonna get a little offended. Can you help me? Why I need to give you a bigger ring? What are you doing to aid the fight besides self? The ring is sufficient. It's your attitude that's not. And that's what's gonna cause that demise. And I promise you, you will be single.
Yeah, and what you just basically suggested is that people may be willing to change.
Yes.
People can change. People oftentimes want to change, but the attitude that's coming at them is going to determine if they're at least open to that kind of change, right? And so that means you got to come at people the right way if you are expecting some kind of change. And I think the reality of this conversation is that if two people are together in a relationship, there are always going to be some things that you just might want to see changed. And it's not that you're going to, make it your sole effort to change them.
Right.
But every time that particular issue or subject or comes up, you're going to try to inspire in your own way. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let's just say that the person, you had the right attitude, and this person is not willing to change. And see, that's the dynamic I really want to get to, because what we have to understand is that, people typically don't change, and that you can't change people. And so how do I need to deal with people who are doing something that rub me the wrong way? I don't like it. I can't handle it. It's too much for me. It's overbearing. It maybe puts me to shame. It maybe embarrasses me. It may be any number of those kinds of things.
You move them away. And I know
You
that
move them
sounds,
away.
you have no choice. And please understand, you don't have to change anyone, but you don't have to be around me.
Right.
So please
And
understand that's a move
Listen.
and make a positive change, even though it's going to be a negative reaction.
That is the theme of this show, and we got to it kind of early. But you cannot change people. You have to change
That's right.
yourself.
That's right. And when I say that is, there's a lot of people I hang around that don't always measure up. All right? I don't want to be judgmental. I see some of the things they do. It's none of what I do. But guess what? I don't need to judge them and not be around them, because all the things they do, I only got to do that when I feel like they're putting my family and the things I do in jeopardy.
Right.
But if they just doing some crazy things, I've done some crazy things, I don't want to be judgmental.
Okay?
But when I'm talking to them and we're talking, and again, you aid somebody and you try to give them some information, if they don't want to accept it, that's fine. My whole thing is you don't force nothing on nobody. You can't make a person change that don't see the change that you're trying to do. And who are you to make change in somebody's life and you ain't got your life right? So my whole thing is we have communication. It's not about change. I just want to make sure they understand what they do. If they don't change, at least I told them honestly what they do. And at that point, it's up to them. We feel like it's an obligation we need to let them know it's an intervention. They got to do. First of all, intervention ain't gonna work if they ain't choosing to understand or listen to you. I promise you it's gonna be a waste of damn time, and I don't want nobody to waste their time with no one. I want you to be able to talk to somebody intelligently and let them know the information that you feel might be potent to them. At that point, you have to give them time to digest and accept. And that's a true friend. And that's when people come back and be like, I didn't really like what you said, but I hear you. At that point, you have a mutual understanding. You might not get changed, but that person respects you for at least giving it honesty.
And if you're in a spousal situation, you told them earnestly they needed some time to
Adjust. To
digest and decide if they can make a change, we're going to make a change, and they don't make the change. So now I'm still unhappy because they didn't make the change.
Okay.
And so the only thing that is possible based on the principle that we've established here is that I need to change.
And I'll tell you what, that's true too.
Right.
It is not always for the worse, as in the divorce and the real friend. There's maybe changed in the thought process of them changing how they are. Is it still something I can work around?
Right.
I might not need to put all my energy into working with her that way, but I know she's doing all these things that's aiding the family. I need to work more on that, because this right here is only gonna cause a demise. This right here is only gonna cause a fight. She feel like this is something she needs to do, so she needs to see I can gravitate the family in this direction, regardless of her feeling the way that I feel she should act. just understand that's your feeling. She might not feel it. So guess what? If she still see me doing my thing, and she know the understanding of me having that conversation with her, she might feel like, you know something, since he left me alone, and he's still doing this, you know, maybe it is me. You feel me? But at that point, you didn't change it. She chose to change herself. That is a positive thing, and that's what I try to get people to look more for than to sit there and beat a person to make change.
Yeah, you can't change
No.
a person. A person has to
Change.
self-realize
Right.
that they need to change and make the change for themselves. At least make the decision to change. They may not know how they're going to change. They may not know the process to get there, but it has to be self-realized.
Right.
And see, that's where you know, a lot of the mental health work happens. In the mental health world, that you don't change an addict. You haven't you ask an addict questions so that they want to begin to change themselves. It's got to be their idea and not your idea. If it's your idea, they're going to constantly fight against it. They're going to constantly say I'm being pressured and pushed and all of that. But if it becomes their idea, then they're more willing to go and take the steps, right? Step out on faith, or do without the thing that they're attached to. So it really has to be their idea. People will not change based on just your recommendation. They have to see. We used to say in sales all the time, we still do say in sales, that people only buy to gain a benefit. People only do anything to gain a benefit or avoid a loss, right? And so some people might get excited about the benefit of the idea you're sharing, and they'll be willing to change. But other people almost have to run into a brick wall. They got to feel the pain of their own decisions, of their own thinking, right? I was studying the Word a lot here over the last few days, and one of the things that kept, it was just a bright light in my mind as I read through in Proverbs. It was talking about how do not try to stop a fool from being a fool, because if you try to stop a fool from being a fool, they're going to only have to do it again. You have to let them hit their brick wall. If you get in the way and they don't hit the brick wall, they're going to think that that's how they can be. That's how they can do, So
And I'm gonna give you another one. Just like a teacher, everything that you say might not be delivered to a way that a person really can comprehend. If you are with somebody that you've been with for a long time, and you try to make them see something different than what they can see, it's gonna be hard for them. So sometimes you also gotta check your deliverance. Sometimes you feel like, hey, no, you should know me by now. You need to do this, okay? Now that's a harsh deliverance, okay? Regardless how long we've been together, you starting to disrespect me.
right.
You starting to feel like you can speak any kind of way to me. And that's not gonna cause any kind of change.
Right.
So a lot of times when you talk to somebody, please make sure you take time, not just for they to digest, but for you to digest what you're trying to put on somebody. Because you can be giving it to them so harsh that they take offense. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, listen,
because I've been up with it for so long, I come hard.
Now listen. Now see, you said something, and there's some kind of oxymoron
I
in that
know, but
equation,
go
right?
for it, because I'm going to tell you.
Because deliverance is everything.
Right.
Okay. Now we both understand that, but you're going to begin. You're going to begin attacking the way I deliver after I done said it 15 times.
Nah, something different.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm upset about it now because
Right.
I've said it over
So
and
many
over
times.
and over again. And at this point, I'm not even expecting you to change. I'm just trying to tell you how I feel about it.
Correct.
I guess perhaps there's probably some hope in the back of someone's mind that they might finally hear it. You're finally upset enough about it that, they're going to take heed. And in some cases, it takes that. In some cases, it may take, hey, you know what, man, this ain't going to be right for me. I'm going to have to go ahead and dip up out of here. If we can't do nothing better than this, I'm going to have to go ahead and dip up.
Can I jump in right there?
The fear of losing one might cause
There
someone
you
to change.
go.
But let me tell you,
But that's up to that person.
it's temporary though, Jay.
That is correct.
It's temporary. Think about it this way.
Correct.
Think about it this way. If you have a job and you find another job with a better pay, that and all the HR directors and managers know this, right? You find a job with another pay, they're going to incentivize you to stay. But they know that it's only temporary.
That's correct.
It's just only a matter of time before you end up going somewhere else. But they might be able to keep you through the remainder of that quarter, that project, etc., until they can hire somebody
Yeah,
else.
exactly. Help
but,
them.
Yeah, but that's only a temporary fix. So if you're threatening with some type of fear-based activity in order to get them to change, more than likely,
and I totally agree with you.
it'll work. It might work for a short while, but they're gonna turn on you.
Correct.
Because that's not how you get results out of people.
And I agree. But I'm also telling you this. There's certain people that you with and they feel like I ain't really want to do it till I seen the tiger come out. Until he got mad.
Yeah.
Seriously, because that's what they've been conditioned
That's
to.
what they've been conditioned to.
But you was trying to condition her to love and respect.
Yes.
I should never have
Yes.
to yell at you. I should always be able to talk to
Yes.
you. And now you got to a point you ain't listening, and now I gotta get to a side I don't like. And when I get there, she all listening now. She just listen when I talk. I
Yes.
never wanted
Yes.
to yell at you.
Listen,
but now you listening.
I had a young lady in my life as a young man,
Uh-huh.
and she would not hear anything I said until I got intense. And it was almost like she needed me to be mad before she heard what I said, right? And then I started thinking like, damn, why am I always getting so intense? That's not me, crap. That's not who the hell is? That's not me. What's going on? And what I realized was that it was almost like when two spirits come together and they try to bond and come together. That now I take on some of the stuff she needs and she take on some of the stuff that I need. And so it turned out that what she needed was a very bold voice, a very bold attitude around her, because that's probably her ex-boyfriend or father or whatever it was. But I'm like, hey man, I'm tired. I ain't arguing with you every damn time I want to get something done, you know? So yeah, it does happen. It does happen to people in that way. It is just about time for us to take our next break, and I really love the way this conversation is going. So I want you folks to hang on. We're gonna be back in just a moment. Here tonight, and we got our boy Dr. Phil in the house.
Buddha in the building.
I take Buddha versus Dr. Phil.
What's up, Buddha? What's up, Buddha?
You know, slow motion.
Yeah,
You know how it is.
I know how it is. I know how it is. Family good, life good, work good.
One day at a time, bro. One day at a
There
time.
you go. There you go. Tonight, my friends, we are talking about can't change people. And we have had a lot of very interesting dialogue thus far. I think some of the key points that came out in the first segment was that the fact that you can't change people, or the fact that it's difficult to change people, mean that if there is some changes needed, if you're going to work with them in a relationship, that you're going to have to approach them with a certain attitude. Correct. You're going to have to approach them with a positive and respectful attitude. Deliverance is everything, okay? But people are not going to change on their own accord unless they see the need to change.
Now, we got somebody that's about to get on the phone with us right now, and I'm going to tell you right now, if he ain't had a good day, he going to make a change in you. It just depends on his deliverance, but his deliverance can be kind of harsh. But before I go any further, I got Big Jeffrey on the line today. How you doing tonight, big baby? Jeffrey?
Brother J, brother.
There you go, Jeffrey. How you doing?
Oh man, doing well. Brother Kraft, how you doing, sir?
Man, we doing fabulous, bruh. Doing fabulous, man. How are you tonight?
Oh man, I tell you what, it's been a pretty good day today as I think about it. The sun was shining, didn't get no rain. There are people that are suffering, so I ain't gonna complain. But in spite of all of that, you know what time it is.
All right, sir.
Man, it is time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now see, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single, but before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Now, ladies, you go first.
All right.
Ladies, some of y'all are habitually single because you so caught up with Instagram and Facebook, and you gotta have all that stuff right there to validate your relationship. Here's what I mean. Now, you can have a man that treats you right, that will take you out in public and wine and dine you. When it comes to the bedroom, he will put that wood on you, make sure you're good and satisfied. You can have a dude that will cook for you and really take care of you and treat you like a woman is supposed to be treated. But if that very same man just happens to see a woman who posts a picture on Instagram and he likes it, oh, it's a problem up in this piece. I need y'all to understand something, ladies. A like in the virtual world ain't got nothing on love in reality. So if you so caught up with what somebody's doing in the virtual world that you will risk the reality of the relationship, then you're the fool. And that explains exactly why you are socially in there on social media and your ass is single.
Jeffrey, you had a rough ass day, didn't you? Because you slapped a lot of people that know.
You slapped a lot of people, a couple in particular.
I'm just trying to tell you,
A whole lot.
I'm just going to be honest. For a lot of people, I don't know what he about to say about the men, but y'all better put that shoe on and prance your ass around. Because he talking about you tonight.
Yes, sir.
Because I know some folks. Listen carefully.
Yes. Yes.
Jeffrey.
You hit it right on.
Yes, you did good.
You
can
hit
go
it right
home.
on the money, man.
You can go home, Jeffrey.
We're
You
trying
going
back
to the
over
bed
there.
next. Jeffrey, you go home. We don't need to come back.
Man, brothers, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next. All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you have not put down childish things. I need you to understand what I'm saying to you, fellas. First of all, a friend of mine was walking around in the grocery store with her 11-year-old daughter. She is an attractive young woman walking around in a grocery store with her 11-year-old daughter. And this one brother decided to record her walking around with her 11-year-old daughter. And she went off on the dude. Here's the killing part. The guy was with his wife. Here's the other killing part. His wife didn't say a damn thing about it. Here's how I'm going to bring it all together. Fellas, I need y'all to understand that sometimes the little teenage perv in you got to put that thing down and do what men do. If you see a woman that's nice looking, look peripherally, but don't disrespect your wife. Don't disrespect the sister. Don't disrespect the 11-year-old girl because you have not put down childish things. I need you to understand something, fellas. There are too many things going on right now that require our energy and our focus and our strength, protection, and provision. But this is one of those times where I have to admit that when women, our women, say they don't feel protected by us, this is one of those instances.
Yes.
So, fellas, I'm going to refer to y'all real quickly, and I'm going to beg, I'm going to implore, I'm going to ask that you put down that childish, testosterone-driven mentality and man up. If you see a nice-looking woman, hey, it's no problem in looking, but to record it on your damn phone ain't nothing but a damn fool. And if you keep doing things like that, well, that explains why your ass is going to get arrested eventually, and your ass is gonna be single.
Jeffrey, on that one, I'll give you just like the first one. I don't know what you went through, but you went through some things. But I promise you, on that one right there, I didn't have no conviction, but I will promise you, just knowing things that was shared, things that I see on social media, I can understand why a person would feel that we not protecting. Because that right there,
I mean, she was totally violated.
yeah, that right there was
Disrespected as well.
that right there was just wrong. And again, not to this totally tear anybody down. It's can we do better?
Right.
This show is just about can we enhance each other instead of insult one another. Because he might feel like he was still right even though he was with his wife. If they get down like that, that don't mean everybody else do. And I just like if you see a person that's attractive, don't mean you have to speak to them. You can keep some things to yourself because it's not just about her look, it's about who she was with. She was with her daughter.
Exactly.
So why can't you leave them alone? If she that fine, that you feel like you can go up and say something, you will probably find out just as fine as she is, she'll be fine without you.
There you go.
You can't even let me enjoy my time with my kid, and your little horny behind want to say something in front of my child and think that's gonna get somewhere. I mean, sometimes ignorance prevails quickly when we open our mouths.
There you go. And we'll pass it back to you, Brother Jeffrey.
I need y'all to understand something. I got a little depressed today. I'm gonna tell you why I got a little depressed today. I got a little depressed today because it seems like they keep feeding us this visual that anything we've done in our past is justification for how they treat us. I've seen some black people say this. I've seen some white people say this. And I'm going to tell you this. I need you to understand and feel me when I say I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of it because I wish somebody would come up and test me, especially when my kids are around. It's going to be a firm conversation where, I don't care how you address or what your job is.
Yes,
This is only going to go so far. Because if nothing else, we are tired of asking. Malcolm X says, stop asking. Demand. Well, we're demanding now. We're not asking you to see us as people. What we're asking you to do is to leave us alone in our personhood. Respect our ability just to be a person. Because the curve has already turned, and what you're getting ready to be faced with ain't what you want. That's all I got to say about that.
Ooh, that's so sweet. That's
That's
so
it, wasn't
sweet. Listen, that ties directly into our subject for tonight, Brother Jeffrey, and I'd love to hear your commentary on it. Tonight, the title of the show is simply "Can't Change People." And I think we're running into what Jeffrey's talking about, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to speak on it, but we're running into a situation where we've asked and we've begged and we've got our ass whooped and we've questioned and we tried to work the laws and we've done all of these wonderful, nice, Dr. Kingish type things, and we've maintained the peace. And now we're at a point where we see they are not going to change. How do you handle it? What do you say on the subject tonight, Brother Jeffrey?
Okay, I'm going to put it to you like this. They ain't got to change.
Right.
They ain't got to change. What's going to change, though, is the situation and the circumstances in which they find themselves. So what happens right now is everybody's saying you shouldn't be rioting, and they keep looking at the result, but they're not looking at what's causing it. They're not looking at the pathology. They're just looking at the condition, but not what's causing the condition.
Yes.
So here is the shift that's going on. People have been empowered by President Trump. They feel like I can say this because the president has said this and the president has made it okay. Here's the good part. The president is about to face a real tough election. All this confidence that a lot of people have, all it's done is it brought it to the forefront. So we know who we can trust and who not to trust.
Right.
So the only change that needs to happen right now is the change in our behavior, and it's happening. The change in how we conduct ourselves with each other, and it's happening.
Yes.
So the change that's happening is the change within us. And when you change yourself and you force people to adjust to you, well, then that's the change that you want. That's what you get.
There you go. There you go. Oh, man.
Jeffrey for president!
Yeah.
Jeffrey!
I love it. I love it. Always appreciate your comments, man. Any closing words for us tonight?
Man, I just cannot reiterate enough. My friend, she's a very intelligent, strong woman, and her daughter did not deserve that. Your wife didn't deserve to be disrespected like that. My friend and her daughter didn't deserve to be objectified by you in a damn grocery store. And when the police came, I want you to know, when the police came and they went through the guy's phone, he had other women in his phone. And because it was in public, they couldn't arrest him. He got banned from that shopping center. They couldn't get away to the shopping center. But when I want to think about the conversation she had to have with her daughter, this was a black man, a black husband, that had to have a negative impact on a young black girl just because he was immature. It's time out for that foolishness.
Yes.
There's too much stuff going on. We got too many things to focus our energy on. And that's it, man. That's all I really got, brother.
I mean, you had a lot, and Jeffrey, keep your energy. No matter how I put you out there and how I say if you had a rough day or not, we all have rough times, but we still focus on others. One of the things you always highlight is on us getting better. I appreciate all what you do. Please understand, no matter how much I humor and laugh with you, I'm with you.
There you
So
go.
continue.
There you go. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for your fabulous words, man. You always lift us up and inspire us. And we'll look forward to speaking with you next week, my friend.
All right, peace out. What's up, brother Buddha?
What up, Jeff? How you doing, bro?
I ain't got you, brother. I'll let y'all later, though.
All right,
then, bro.
good. All right, folks, we have just heard from the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey. It is now time for us to take another break. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to come back and dive in on this subject, can't change people. We hope you're enjoying it thus far. We look forward to sharing more. We'll be right back right after this.
That was Bar Talk with Jeff.
Welcome back, folks.
Man, if y'all seen that segment right there, Jeffrey killed it.
Jeffrey killed it, didn't he?
One of the things I tell you is, again, that we honor him because, again, he is passionate and he had a purpose on what he was driving. He hit home with all of us in all these different ways. So, again, we got Buddha in the building with us. And, again, we got to introduce him for a second time because he going to give us a little insight because, again, we kind of curious about any kind of things that happened to him relationship-wise. Did somebody try to change him? Now, if any of y'all know about Buddha, Buddha studies a lot of different religions. He's not a person that just believes anything that he hears. He believes in research. That's why we call him Buddha. You just rub his belly and he will give you some factual data.
Yeah.
So,
Really? Hold on. Really? Rub my belly?
tell it to me. Tell it. You rub his belly. Yeah, tell it. Tell it to me. Go ahead, Buddha.
I ain't been switching.
So,
I quit.
Let me give you both a question that that may have come up in your time, right? And I'm just trying to I got a whole lot of examples, and I'm gonna bring them out here in this segment. But I want to hear some things that people have expected of you to change. I want short, quick, direct, deliberate answers, right? How has someone tried to change you? They tried to get you to.
When it comes to change, you have to realize that when people try to change you, it's all about control.
Okay.
When people are trying to change you, they're trying to control you.
Okay.
So when you listen to a person, you have to understand that and realize that people who try to change, they're control freaks. They always want to be in control. They always want to be in the driver's seat. And what they fail to realize is the only person that they can change is themselves. You can't change anyone.
Right.
Period, point blank.
Right. You
I
can,
mean,
you can influence them. You can, you can't be in a relationship
it's-
with anybody who's unwilling.
It's
to
just
change.
like you pulling a horse to water. You can't force him to drink.
Right.
And that's when you're trying to change.
Right.
The horse telling you, look, I'm not thirsty.
Right,
I don't
right.
want to drink. But you still pulling the horse head down like, come on, drink. And I'm like, no, I ain't thirsty. I don't want that. I'm good with what I
There's
have.
some situations, man.
I'm going to tell you, the biggest change that I made and the hardest conversation I ever had to make was with my father and my mother when I told them that I was no longer a Christian.
Okay.
And the reason that I changed is because I researched everything, and the only thing that I found was bold statements. I didn't find facts.
Okay.
So you telling me that, you know, you believe in Jesus, but the only thing that it is to me is just bold compliments and bold accounts. There's no facts behind it whatsoever.
Okay.
The only fact that you have behind it is that people have faith.
Okay.
That's it.
And
Now, hold on.
we don't want to debate the religious.
No, I'm not
the religious
debating.
belief. We want to know how you
What-
dealt with it with your parents.
I had that conversation,
Okay.
and I explained to them that, you know, this is what you taught me. This is what you believe in. I understand that, and I respect you for the way you raised me. However, for me to be who I am, I no longer believe that, because these are just bold statements to me. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay.
You have pharaohs from from the Egyptian times
Uh-huh.
that are going on tours and
Yeah.
display.
Hold on.
However, you can't give me any factual
Okay, watch this.
anything
Okay, watch
from
this.
Jesus or his time.
And so, how did you leave that conversation with your parents?
We had a conversation. Of course, they was upset because this is what they believed in. It wasn't what I believed in any longer. It hurt me to have that conversation, and it hurt them. But at the end of the day, because they loved me, they accepted me for my decision, because that's what they believe in. They can't make me believe in what they believe in.
Okay.
So
That's a good.
that was one. That was I'd say that was whew,
That's a good example.
It was.
that was the biggest one right there.
That's a great example, and you just happen to be talking about it from a parental standpoint, but in a relationship, that potentially is a deal breaker, because you are
True.
very much unequally yoked. You're seeing the world from completely different
Different
perspectives.
Exactly.
One is seeing it from a faith-based perspective, and the other one is looking for facts.
Exactly.
And those two do not go together. And at a certain point, they're going to clash big time. And, I'd imagine that the faith-based person is probably an optimist. And the non-faith-based person is a pessimist.
I disagree.
And that's you defending yourself,
Right.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that if you are always fighting against another person's belief system, there's going to be somebody who's always a naysayer, and there's going to be somebody who's trying to go to the next level, right? There are those people, that's one of the things that can be very challenging in a relationship, is that you never see eye to eye, right? And so now I'm always trying to get the other person to see my perspective, but they can never see my perspective. And, we can have dinner together, and we can hang out together, and we can do all these wonderful things together, but when it comes down to the core belief system, that we don't see eye to eye, and those things are very disruptive. But you cannot change another person's belief system. You simply have to change yourself. That means either not talk about it as much, or decide that they're not the right person to be in your life and move on. And those are not necessarily easy decisions. I'm not attempting to make them easy, but I'm just asking an empathetic question here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your parents were trying to achieve by trying to change you to that belief system?
No, it's not that they were trying to change me to the belief system. You have to understand, this is what they inherited.
Answer the question.
And I'm answering the question.
Go ahead.
Give me time. They didn't try to change my belief system. They gave me what they were taught. They gave me their inheritance. My inheritance is not the same as their inheritance, because I chose to do the research on my own. The only thing that they did was continue with what they were taught. I didn't go in that same lane.
And so,
I'm not going in that same lane.
Okay,
Because it's a difference. Because the only person that, at the end of the day, that I have to be accountable for is myself.
Okay.
My happiness, my peace. What they do in regards to their religion, that's their happiness, that's their peace.
Okay, let me ask
That
you-
doesn't mean that we can't go to church together. We can't talk about religion or anything like that. We just, at some point in time, we're going to get to a point where you agree this way, I agree this way. It's not that we can't respect each other and get along. It's just we have totally different viewpoints. Because
Okay.
I did the research. You chose not to.
Okay.
You chose to go with what was fed to you.
Okay. Now, and I get that, right? So your daughter coming up in the world, hypothetically, coming up in the world,
Ain't no hypothetical. She
and
coming.
she is.
She here. She here.
She has learned somehow or another that she can make money by the way she looks. Maybe working in a strip club, maybe on one of those websites.
Mhm.
And you come to her and you try to say, honey, not in a bad way, you come with the right attitude. You're trying to tell her that, I need to inspire you with something. Well, how are you going to try to set precedent? Because what you're sensing is that she needs to make a change and you're going to have a conversation with her.
No,
You're not going to have a conversation with her?
no, because I'm not
Being
hypocrite.
difficult.
No, I'm not being difficult.
Your daughter?
No.
You're not going to have a conversation with her?
Hear me out. I can bring you to not hypothetical. This is real life.
Okay, go
This
ahead.
is what I'm dealing with right now.
Okay.
My daughter smokes weed.
Okay.
I don't approve of it. However, I can't be a hypocrite and tell her that she can't smoke weed because I smoke weed. Right?
Right.
The only thing that I can do is educate her and tell her to the right way in going about it because I can't change you. The only thing I can do is educate you the best way that I possibly can and feel and hope that you adhere to what I'm purveying to you because I don't need you, nor do I want you to end up in the system like I did.
So
However,
here's the point that I'm trying to make.
however,
right?
now listen, I'm not trying to change her.
Okay.
I'm letting her know that, look, I'm telling you, I used to do what you're doing. However, I was not
Okay.
as sloppy as you.
And
So
listen-
what I need you to do is be more cognizant of what you're doing, when you're doing it, and how you're conducting yourself when you do it.
So
I'm
you-
not telling you not to smoke weed because if I tell you not to smoke weed, I'm being a hypocrite, and that's not me.
Nor will it cause real change.
Nor will
Because
it
if
cause real
if
change.
that person
That's the point.
seen you doing it,
But that's not what I'm trying to do to
and
my
you're not.
daughter.
Because if she seen you
I'm
doing
trying
it,
to educate my daughter on how
she
life
won't believe
is.
you. I agree. I
Okay.
agree. Because
let me,
again,
let me make my original point here.
no, your point was good. Hold on, before you do it, I just want to go back to him. Is realizing that this works best for him. Now, please, this show is all about. We all are trying to get to another level. He gave you a personal one that he knew his daughter. It ain't for everyone. Everybody's not gonna feel this way, and it's not for you. But he know his daughter. He took the time to have this conversation to her. It might not be for you. This show is to give you realness compared to fakeness.
Yeah, and
this is something he went through.
and
That's
here's-
all this is about.
Here's some realness. In the midst of you wanting to share some wisdom, some information, some etc., just like your parents when they went to share this information, that what they did was, and what we all have to do, and this is a great point, is we have to settle in the change. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but I do want to let you know the ramifications of your behavior. I'm really still seeking to change them because otherwise there's no need to share the information. I would really hope that they buy into what I say so that they make the shift to be more, be more under the radar,
Discreet.
or make the shift so that they can have more strength in their spirit. Now, I asked you the question, why do you think your parents was telling you that? They were telling you that because they are thinking that perhaps the belief system that he has may not be working for him. Maybe it's parents looking at the child say, hey, I'm not sure if that's working out for you. Let me give you some strongholds, right? Now listen,
That's their belief system. That's not mine.
okay, we get that.
So
we
you can't.
we get that. But,
regardless
but
of what your decision is, in regards to religion or whatever you choose to
You're so
do.
defensive about it. Like,
I'm not being
you're not even
defensive.
open-minded at all.
No, I'm very
not even talking about your belief system. I'm talking about your parents' belief system.
And I'm
Their
trying
belief
to
system
tell
was
you-
attempting to inspire their child to be stronger in their spirit. And no matter how,
That's
whether they were
theirs.
teaching you
That's not
Buddhism
mine.
or
That's
Taoism
theirs.
or Christianity,
That's theirs.
they
That's
were
not mine.
they were attempting to.
So,
You're
we're-
still being
no,
defensive about it.
No, we're talking
so you
about.
have no empathy for the person who is
we're
seeking
talking
to make
about
change.
The,
See, like your daughter,
subject, no, listen,
your daughter's probably
the
gonna say, you know
subject
what?
is changing
He's an
people
old man
or
and you don't
trying to change
understand
people.
because he's just a silly old man and he don't want me to have the same amount of fun that he had and da 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 da. You see
The
how the child
subject-
starts going off on these
subject-
irresponsible tangents
the
about why
subject
they're
is-
being changed.
The subject is can't change people.
Okay.
That's the subject.
Mhm.
So if I'm having a relationship or a conversation with my parents, and you're saying that, hold on, let me give them some strongholds or him some strongholds that may not be working for him. The topic is you can't change people, regardless of what your belief is or where you're walking
Listen,
to.
it's just
it's their
It's just
walk.
the topic. People can
Yes.
be changed.
No,
and
no,
you are
no,
not
no.
going to let your
No,
daughter
the
go
only-
out
no,
misled
listen.
from your house.
Let me explain to
You
you.
are not going to do that.
Let me explain to you the only way that someone is changed.
That's an
Okay.
The,
your
the
parents
only
would
way,
have
the
been.
only way that someone is changed
Mhm.
is when you lock them up and you beat them, just like the white people did when we were slaves. That's the only way that they changed us. Because other than that, we were running.
Bruh, I got
We
changed
were
a lot
running.
through wonderful
No.
conversations.
Bruh.
I got changed a lot through wisdom,
You
not
can't
experience.
change some because you wanted to be changed by that. But if I have a different mindset than you, you cannot change me
I wanted
because
to-
my mind is something totally different than yours.
I understand that. I understand
That's
that.
all I'm saying.
But listen, if Jay came to me with a certain idea, right? As much as I may hate the idea, I know that Jay is trying to advance our company. And I know that Jay's intentions are pure. And I might just want to get off my high horse and maybe look at Jay's idea one or two more times, maybe even just let go and say, I'm going to test it, if nothing more than just to appease them. Nothing more than for him to believe that I constantly want to be growing as a team player here. Nothing more than I want him to know that I respect him as a person who's been successful, just might be able to add some value to our success. See, here's where I'm getting. If somebody is inspiring something in you, and it's always happening in everybody's life, somebody inspiring something in you, take note. But see, I'm just trying to get, I'm not talking about your belief system. I'm trying to get you to take note that that person was trying to care for you. That's
Yes.
all. You don't have to be
No,
defensive
no,
about
I'm
belief
not being
system.
de- I'm not- I'm
Somebody
not
was
being
trying to
defensive.
inspire something
If-
to you. If
if-
your boss came to you
Let-
and said, you know what, if you don't be on time to that meeting, I'm going to put my foot in your ass. What he is attempting to do is to say, don't get me in trouble and make sure you come and be on time and do your best.
I'm gonna
Now,
tell
you
you
can
like
take
this right
offense
here.
to it, but
If-
he's tempting to help you.
Okay.
If
Phil?
you have, say, Jerry has his business, right? You bring an idea to him.
Mhm.
He's not open to the idea. However, he's doing that to appease you. He's doing that to appease you, not to appease himself.
Right.
So what he's doing is giving you a pacifier to shut the fuck up and leave him alone.
No.
That's exactly what he's
No,
doing. Because he's not doing that for change. He's doing that to appease you
That
so
is-
you can leave him alone
That's
so
interesting.
he can do what he normally does.
Isn't that the whole process of iron sharpens iron? I might not listen to you, but I'm gonna tell you. You might not listen to me, but I'm gonna tell you. If I see you doing wrong, I'm gonna say something to you. See, people don't change because they're bullheaded and they think they know everything. There's a lot of intelligence and information coming at us all, and we all have a need to grow. But if you're not willing to listen, you're never going to grow.
And I'm gonna tell y'all today, what y'all are talking about right now is the whole show. The whole show is all about change. You can't change people. That's why it become an argument. Because a lot of times when you look for change, you look for a change in a person, and you're always not going to get it. And I told you, from deliverance and changing what you do, might be able to deliver. It's like a teacher trying to teach somebody. Please, everybody's not going to have it on the same comprehension level. Everything is going to be different. It's going to be up to you. It's no different than what Phil was saying, that he was inherited some one thing, he researched and he felt something different. He felt like, I don't have to follow this no more because I don't see what y'all see. That's because he did his homework and what he feels. His receipts is his receipts. It's not for me to judge. What I can tell you is they still respected him, even though it was something that they didn't expect. And that is where they changed, because they still loved him and still respected him for the difference in him. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Quit looking for people to change for you when some people might change you. Me and Phil has went through a lot in life. And when we go through things, we don't always see eye to eye. But as men, we come together. I got taught from my oldest brother. You sit with a person and you won't have an understanding, then get an understanding. But you make change. Change means you will be away from me. But the bottom line, before I judge you, why did you do this? What sense did that make? Where you can have an understanding of a perception you gave me. These are stuff that you threw on me and my family, our inheritance. Do you want to continue this, or we can discontinue you? Now, when you look at it like that, you have a choice. It ain't just me deciding to leave your ass. It's you figuring out, do you want to stay with my behind?
Right.
Because it ain't always that I'm right. I'm not.
I'm not.
But my whole thing is you can't bring this on to the family. Don't bring what you don't want, or I will make change. Now, at that point, now that's where the world is at right now.
It's time for us to take our next break. I love the conversation, guys. You guys are just on fire tonight. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
One of the things I will tell you again, this whole show is about deliverance and having an understanding from a different point of view. And again, when we say change people, this is what this show is all about, because a lot of times your point of view gets lost with another person and you feel like it should be a certain way. That's why I always say watch what goes on and watch Deliverance, because Deliverance can also change how you feel. Because if you come harsh, a person can feel offended. If you come soft, a person can feel you're soft and they take advantage of a situation instead of understanding the change. So again, sometimes you gotta know the person. And you don't know a person, sometimes you just gotta go off the cuff of how the best way I can relate this, even though I don't know you. But I know you are being very disrespectful to what's going on right now, and I have to address it because you're starting to mess with me and my belief regardless of yours. And at that point, either you're going to respect me or not, but he will understand me. Now, that's what's happening right now in life, in politics, and everywhere else, where sometimes you just have to make a stance where I'm not going to allow things to continue to happen, and I just take it, okay? We to a point that I'm educated enough to know what you're doing is not right. And I don't got to go by a code of conduct of not talking, and you keep disrespecting me and think you're going to do me like you do everybody else. So at this point, I have a conversation with you that might be a little harsh. My words might not be words that you care for or like. It's not to a point that I care. I care enough to give it to you. Because at this point, you're going to make a decision or not. If you want me in, because I'm about to vote your ass on. Because it's just that simple. I cannot keep tolerating this. Your actions is causing my whole family demise. When you leave, everybody's talking about you, and the first thing they say is, why did you bring him in? Why do you bring that to the family? It is my decision at that point to deal with it, because I brought them in. As a family, spouse, this person that sprouts out and say whatever they want because they feel like, hey, that's me. Y'all are religious, y'all all that. I can say whatever I want, this, that, the other. But you are disrespecting me. I brought you in. With the hopes of you understanding, show a little poise, a little bit of empathy of the fact that everybody might not see it your way, but you're going to say it any harsh way you want. Yes, and then you think I should accept it because we're friends. No, as friends, we should have talked about this. We have to have a better understanding. But no, you feel like, nah, you know me, this is how I get down. But now you disrespecting my mother. She'll be all right. She old. Now that last comment, you off.
Yeah.
Now when I say you off, it's because not because she old. It's because I believe in what she did for me, and you do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're adding negative vibes to a situation that I'm continuing, and then I will go down that same spiral if that's what you allow.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you don't have to change. Sometimes you have to change you, and you have to move away from what's not good for you, and that's
Exactly.
life. And this whole show is about, hey, we got tough decisions, and with the world showing us right now, we already knew. We've been seeing a lot of shootings, a lot of murders, a lot of things that I'm not blaming a whole lot of people because it's been happening for a minute. But let's just be real about a stance. What the NBA did, they made a stance.
Yeah. they-
What Kaepernick did with in the NFL on his own, he made a stance. My whole thing is, even with the stance, people have to accept these changes, okay?
Basically-
Without these changes being accepted, it's going to continue. In some people's eye, it ain't a change for me. But we feel like it's going to change. All change don't happen the way we want it to.
But see, the beautiful thing about change and the change that you're talking about is Cap started the whole revolution. Even though he was blackballed, it was meant for him to be blackballed for everyone to come together the way that they're doing now. Because if Cap wasn't the pawn in the game that got demised, no one else would be stepping up and stepping forward. Cap is the one that started this whole thing. Now, what I will say,
When I say, when
is
you
that-
say Cap started,
yeah,
as respect, it was started way before. But
Yeah,
again,
but I'm
in this
saying
era,
on-
and things
in
that
regards
goes on,
to
I
his
just want to make
platform,
sure, right?
in
I just want
regards
to make
his
sure
platform,
I give
because
respect to the facts.
there's a lot of people that have used their platform for good, but Cap was the only one, to my knowledge, that has used his platform and been blackballed from that point on. Now, again, I will shed light on. My wife did bring this to my attention. She stated earlier today, she was like, you know something, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff, and she said that maybe because of what happened with Rodney King and everybody got off, it was like a seed planted in all white cops' mentality that, hey, we shouldn't beat them and let them live. If we gonna do anything, we need to kill them. So therefore we get off. Because remember, Rodney King, he got paid, he stayed alive, but everybody else, think about it. That family hasn't got any retribution from that death, period. The only reason that I feel that they received, that Rodney got paid the way he did, is because he was still living.
But you know, after ass whooping like that, you really gotta get. You're gonna get paid. You're gonna get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Crap,
You're gonna get paid.
crap.
And listen, and then him getting paid was a change in and of itself. It took a lawyer to drive that. Yeah, you first had to take the ass whooping, and then it gave the world the cause to go and fight for it. We understand all that, man. So watch this.
Go ahead.
When
You
you
still
want-
can't change nobody.
But you can influence them. You know what I'm saying?
Or you can beat him.
But the influence was, hey, we beat his ass, he survived. We had to pay out a whole lot of damn money. Why don't we just kill them motherfuckers? We got the backing.
Now
You said that in the
Those are the
world
words of
stage,
Buddha.
man. Yeah.
This is the words of
Let's just
Buddha.
go ahead and shift the conversation just a
I
little
mean,
bit.
but-
What do
I
you
mean-
want to change in people when you want to change them? You say you can't change people, and so here's the notion that there's somebody in your life, spouse, boss, whatever, and they're doing something or expressing something that bothers you, that you don't like, that's not congruent with you, right? And what they're typically expressing is either their value system, their belief system, or their behaviors, right? We're trying to change other people's behavior, or we're trying to the way they see a situation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of that change is going to come from
Okay.
I'm going somewhere. Go ahead.
Right.
Okay. So you got these value systems, these beliefs, and these behaviors, right?
Mhm.
There are certain behaviors that we like and that we want, and let me just name a few of them. We love generosity. We love integrity and loyalty and kindness and sincerity and self-control and peacefulness. And
Blah,
we
blah,
like
blah.
patience and determination and persistence, and we like fairness. We like optimism. We like spirituality.
Blah, blah,
right?
blah.
Let's talk about some things that we don't like.
Okay.
And these are the reasons that we are typically attempting to trying to change people, because they have a trait of dishonesty, a lack of integrity. Can you change someone who is a liar?
I feel, and this is just me, I feel that any time that a person tries to change someone or wants to change someone, it's deeper in the person who's trying to make the change in the other person. Because it could be you had an ex-boyfriend or, that didn't treat you right. So you're dealing with this dude. He does something and it triggers something mentally in you. So therefore you're going to be like, okay, let me try to change this person because this is not what I like. So for me, when someone tries to change something or try to change someone, it's from their past that they have not dealt with and let go because they're still holding that bag. Because if you're open-minded enough and you understand how things move and how things flow, in order to step forward, you have to let go of the past. And I feel, and this is just me, I feel that anytime someone tries to change you, it's because it's something that they had in the past that they haven't dealt with and they are still holding on to.
Okay, watch this. Watch this.
That's just my feeling.
We're talking about integrity here. Dishonesty, integrity. We're talking about a liar. They lied to you, bold-faced, black and white, last week.
Tell me somebody.
We ain't talking about past relationship. We talking about
Tell me somebody who hasn't lied.
last week. The point is.
Tell me somebody who hasn't lied.
The point is.
Do you know anybody that hasn't lied?
The point is.
Go ahead.
Is can you live or have a relationship with a person who's dishonest?
Now,
You're not going to change
You
them, are
have a
you?
relationship with people who are dishonest every single day in your life.
I tend to want to agree, but I will tell you, it's not easy.
Because if this world was honest, we wouldn't be going through the stuff that we're going through right now.
Well, that's called deception, and we're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna get that later.
But come
Well,
on.
listen,
Crap.
there's a person who is always deceptive.
There's
Crap.
a lot
Have you
of
ever
You
lied to
can't
someone?
you can't change them.
Crap. Have
Right.
you ever lied to somebody in a relationship?
Of course.
Okay.
Why are you talking about
No,
that?
I'm just asking you a question.
Yeah, we're done with that.
No, hold on. Because that's what you stated. You was like, can you deal with someone
I'm trying
in
to
a
do a
relationship?
talk show right here. We're talking about the things that things that you
are
want
we
to
not
change in
involved
people.
in this talk show?
Of course you are.
Okay then. So we're bantering off of each other.
right.
That's all we're doing right here. Don't get so offensive, brother. It's okay. I love you.
Okay, well,
If you
y'all
gonna make
giving,
a point, make a point.
well, y'all making love over here. Let me go to a point. Let me go to a
Go
point.
ahead.
Well, I love no. What y'all just did, y'all made a point. Y'all really did. Y'all answered a lot of questions, and a lot of times y'all don't see it because when y'all bantering back and forth, people are listening and they be like, "Well, why are they bantering?" Because that's the difference in people. And when you want to make change in a person, it's your deliverance to a person. And a lot of times they're not going to perceive everything that you say. And guess what? They're going to go back to self. That's life, and that's what's happening right now. And then you wonder about dealing with a liar. I've dealt with liars half of my life, and I was one my damn self. But one thing I can tell you is when I didn't like the results of what I did, I changed what I was doing. I can't change a lie. I still deal with people that lie to me today about promises and things they're going to do. I just don't believe in the things that they say.
And here,
But why did it come from? It came from me realizing what they do.
There you go.
So quit blaming and change
Listen.
where it needs to be. And
See.
sometimes it's self-awareness to realize, I don't got to do that no more. So why are they? So before I judge them, I remember what I did. Now I know how to treat them. You gonna continue with your way, and you gonna continue to lie because I know you have another ulterior motive of your lie. Now, since I'm used to people lying to me, I understand their motives. They lying for whatever reason. I started to learn them through their lie. Because that's what they do. Guess I don't have to, but that's what I choose to do in business. In a relationship, I might choose not to leave that person alone because they just have a different way of giving a deliverance that's just crazy because they got taught this shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's up to them.
So here's the point I was attempting to make, right? That we're always, we can't change people, right? But there are these qualities that get on our last nerves. People lie.
Yep.
They're rude.
Yep.
They're disrespectful.
100.
They're impatient. They're abrasive. They're pessimists. They're cruel. They're obnoxious. They're malicious. They're quarrelsome. They're selfish. They're unforgiving. And so here's the point I wanted to make as I brought this up, is that the way to deal with people when you can't change them is that you have to always be closing. The best defense to people is to always be closing. So if I know I have a person who is a liar, I'm not attached to anything that they say. I'm now changing me. I'm not trying to change them. I'm changing me. If I have a person who is a liar, I'm always going to ask 30 questions. And next thing you know, they're going to get tired of me asking 30 questions and they're going to start telling me the truth up front. I change how I respond to them, not changing them, right? If I have a person who, for example, was one of these terms here, disrespectful, I'm going to share with them that they're disrespectful, and I'm going to share with them that they were kind of disrespectful in the way they said this, the way they did that, and then I'm no longer going to expect anything more from them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show them a disrespectful response. I'm going to change me, right? And that's the point of the whole conversation, is that no, you can't change people, but what you have to do constantly is be changing yourself. If it gets on your nerves day one, and they do it every day for 100 days, and it gets on your nerves day 100, you are not changing yourself. You are not moving with the situation so that you can better manage it yourself. You keep expecting the change to come from the outside, and it almost never comes from the outside. Statistics say that the average person will they develop their dominant behavioral style by the age of 6, and they don't typically change their behavioral style in a lifetime more than 15%.
Right.
We are all creatures of habit. We all like the way we like it. But, when it comes to relationships, we're running into all of these things that don't meet our value system. Someone who may be, rude, or, maybe be petty, or, maybe they're selfish. And, those are things that, we want to have a relationship with them, but it's going to have to be some give and take, or you're out of there.
Right.
You can't live with a selfish person. But what you can do is to start to say, well, you know what? I need to protect myself from them. I need to maybe take back some of the stuff, not necessarily that I gave them, but rather than always giving,
Right.
I'm gonna just hold back a little bit, and I'm gonna take better care of me. The change happens inside of me, not them, right? And that's a very important point to make here, because what you're dealing with, you're probably going to continue to deal with unless you do something differently. And that's the nature of life. You can't expect really anything from other people. It's kind of unfortunate, because in a relationship, what we really want, you start, that's maybe why love is so vulnerable. You kind of let down your guard a little bit, hoping that they wouldn't be selfish. Hopefully they wouldn't be disrespectful. Hopefully they wouldn't be maybe mean or disloyal or lie. But after you see it one time, now you got to start investigating. Now you got to start making a clear decision about how you're going to deal with this.
Right.
Because if you don't, they are controlling you with that bad behavior.
And I'm gonna tell you about this control thing. It can also happen in the positive. Pastor Anthony just texted me, said he's watching this. So one of the things I want to do is a shout out to Pastor Anthony. But
Shout
one of the
out,
things he did was he wrote the book, The Eve Effect. When he wrote The Eve Effect, he was trying to change our perception when he wrote the book. It's all about what you might have been taught, but what it is in his eye. And to a lot of people that's ordained, they're trying to show you things in their eye to get you to a better place. That's a work in itself. And I can't say no more than I honor a lot of people that's trying to live a positive life, regardless of ordained or not. It is about you living your best life in a way that's productive and not hurtful. That's what this show is about. I can't change you, nor do I know you. But I can give you a part of me that I care to give. That part is one that you don't have to accept. And I don't have to do this. But I do it from my goodness of my heart and what I feel we need. We need to be understood in a different way. What's happening in this world, I don't like, but I don't bring the world into everything that I do. And if I don't like it, why am I talking about it? You go on social media, I'm not going to share everything I don't like. Why am I giving power to what I don't care for? I care to pass what I believe in. I just told you about Pastor Anthony because he's another person that I like and I appreciate. Not just being a pastor, but he wrote a book that he wrote out of his own goodness sake. Or we all have been through some things, but if somebody can help guide us through it, I'm promoting. Because I have made mistakes like anybody else. So how in the hell I'm gonna sit here and say I want to change somebody when somebody had to show me that things wasn't right with me to help me? I had to accept though. Please understand. Anybody that ever said something to me, I had to accept what they were saying before it made any change in me. And a lot of times I had to accept it through time. Because everything they said didn't compute or made sense to me at that time. But they cared enough to tell me. By the time I got it, I didn't call them to say thank you for giving me. But I did thank them. My whole thing is I thank them because I might have given it to their child. Because everything don't come to you to give it back to them. It goes forth. So everything that I've learned, I remember these young ones that I'm dealing with. That's why I got ex-girlfriends that I still deal with their children because everybody don't need to be left behind. It wasn't because I was ever left behind. It's just because I have a feeling of what I can add value to. So when I see some people that need it, I don't question, I do. And I don't look for somebody to say thank you to me. If somebody gave me something, I don't always got to just thank them. They want to see it forth. So when me and my brothers get together and they be like, why you do this and why did, look what you did for me. We're add on as on. They're add on to us. Why are we tearing down? If that person is mean to you, now you gonna be mean to his kids? No, we normally don't take that approach. So my approach is they mean to you, enhance them. Because I can't change you. But I might be able to enhance them in a positive way where they can show you that the same actions you did, they don't have to do. They have other resources because that's the brotherhood. And that's what we losing. We losing because they beat us and they trying to change us and we don't need to be changed that way. We need to grow in the way that God gave us. Get back to understanding receipts of what we need to do, not what somebody tell us. Social media is brainwashing. I want us changing for us. I want us caring for us, our elderly, the people that's wound up, that showed us when we couldn't wipe our own. They did for us, but now we forgot them. But you want to take care of your own. Your own control you, and they don't even care for you. My whole thing is they see by what we do. We need to do better. When I say do better, not by just them. It's by what we do. We putting too much into just them, and we forget there's others that we impact. My brother used to chase football. He loved football. So he coached football, and he loved these young ones. And I'm like, he ain't had that many kids, but he had a passion. He said, man, when I learned this ability, I wanted to teach it to others. And he did it. And I'm like, why He'd never been, but he remembered his childhood. And he wanted to give it to somebody else. But he didn't ask nobody. He did it. And that's why he was great at what he did.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get back to our greatness. We want to get back to the money, the bag. He didn't get paid for coaching. He got paid for leading his company. But he did what he did because he has to give back. That's the goodness of a person. We looking for money.
Mm-hmm.
Everything won't pay you. But what legacy is you leaving? He died, it'll be a line of kids that still respect him. You rich, you'll die alone.
Yeah.
Let that money bury your ass, because I promise you, I'd rather somebody love my ass. Figure it out before you die.
Yeah.
Or figure it out, because it's a date and an ending. It's up to you, and it's that dash that you gonna make an imprint on that tombstone of your life. So figure it out, because it ain't just changing people, it's understanding you.
Exactly.
There you go. It is time for us to take a break. We're going to come back and close this show out with a bang. You folks stay tuned. 3 minutes?
2 minutes for now.
2 minutes. We might as well just change it on out. All right. So, with the two, let's go to Phil. Your feelings of this young man?
Well, you know, it's just understanding your core values and just realizing that the only person that you have to change is yourself. You can't change anyone else. And you have to do what's best for you in your own power, in your own situation, to make the best for you and yours. And if anyone tries to change you, you have to understand that they're not open to changing themselves because they're trying to control someone else.
Okay, Craftmatic?
Yeah. Change is a constant, and it is a mandate in all of our lives, especially when we're in a relationship. Now, whether you want to or not, you're going to have to give up a lot of what you want and a lot of what you believe if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody. You may not like to have to put the toilet seat down, but if you're going to have a spouse, you're going to have to learn to put the damn toilet seat down. And as simple as that sound, to say you can't change people, yeah, I understand you typically can't change people, but you can't have a relationship without both parties changing. And sometimes they're going to change with a little push, and sometimes they're going to change with a big push. But this is how 50, 20, 30, 40, 50-year relationships happen. Everybody is constantly giving in. And there has to be tact, there has to be deliverance, there has to be a right attitude. But if you're not going to necessarily get what you want, then you got to close the deal. And sometimes that may mean a little sway and a little influence. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I didn't tell you about it. You know, I'll ask for forgiveness rather than permission because I knew you would go act a damn fool. And all I want to do is go shoot ball with the fellas, right? So, you know, it is an ebb and flow scenario, but we all have to be willing to change. And for those people who are not willing to change, either you cast them out or you find a way to close them, or you just sit there and wallow in the madness that you're in.
Mine for the round table is cute because my brother texted me something in 4-year anniversary. September 17th is coming up. Now that right there says it all. Why we do this is because, again, we're committed, we're dedicated, and if you don't understand it, just keep paying attention. It wasn't about the past, it's about where we're going in the future. I hope you understand, I hope you listen, I hope you share. Because one of the things we're doing is out the heart. It is a round table of people caring enough to give you what you might not care to hear, but it's an understanding of we all need to grow. No more judging. It's about changing. It's up to you to start.
There you go. And this has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. We got Buddha in the building. And we are truly grateful for you folks being here with us tonight. Please continue to stay tuned, share the show, like it, subscribe, share, like, subscribe. We're all over the internet, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Let Go, Blacklist, Blacklist, all of it. You can find us everywhere. We are most importantly here on Facebook, Thursday, 7 to 9, Facebook Live. You again come out, share the show, like us, subscribe. We certainly appreciate you being with us. We love you folks, and thank you again. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.